Hope you guys are having an awesome day, and welcome to today's flight. Today we're going to be doing some full flights in the beautiful Fenix Airbus A321. Doing a full flight from Copenhagen down to the Cyprus to Larnaca airport, after that continue back up north from Larnaca to Stockholm. So let's not waste any more time, let's go up it and let's get going. Welcome to the ground. As you can see, our aircraft is fully cold and dark and mind the gap. Walking inside, let's make sure we can get the aircraft up and going. Aircraft, we are good on this page. Closing the door behind us and welcome to the cockpit. So let's go to the captain's seat and let's make sure the aircraft is safe before we start with the powering up. So throttles are at idle, engine switches are to off, flaps and speed brakes are in the stall position. 24.3 and 27.6 on the batteries, so we can turn us on. We have power, ground power can be connected. And we are good, so adhere 1, 2 and 3 to navigation mode, evacuation to captain, oxygen to crew, to automatic position or on. We will do the fire testing as soon as we get the aircraft up and going. Fuel pumps stay off till refueling is complete, generators are set, can take the bleeds, the PU bleed on the rest can stay as is. Strobe and logo light can come to auto and 1, seatbelt and smoking sign can come on. Sorry, seatbelt has to stay off because we are refueling. Commercial light is selected to the arm position and we will do the fire test as soon as the aircraft is initialized. Transponder to automatic Squawk 2000 set, Unicom and the guard frequency
runway awareness set. Okay.
Listing meters on frequency 1 and 2 and transmitting on frequency number 1, which is what we are supposed to be doing. And we are good on that page. We are going to be connecting to the battery network shortly. I'm just going to have to fix something. So while we wait, let's go and get the flight plan imported over. So alright, flight plan is loading in and there we go. We have our flight plan going to fly as Sunclass 894, or it was change that to Viking 894. Now let's go to the init page and request the route over there. We are now connected to VATSIM network, so Boston going to be Viking 894. Simulator freeze. So Victor King Golf, Victor Kilo Golf, I mean, and going to be 894. Cost index going to be 60. For the cruise at flight level, let's see, C350. Temperature at top of climb will, at cruise I mean, will be, where are you? -51. Alright, let's go and see if we have gotten our load sheet. And no, we have not. Yay. Alright, we are now loading fuel. We are good on that page. Since we have received a load sheet, I'll just have to go with what they have in the briefing. So 15 tons of fuel, zero fuel weight of 63.9, and center of gravity, I do not know that, so you have to change that later. 0.4 tons of taxi fuel, and continuity fuel of 0.7. Alternate fuel 2.7. And final fuel of 1.2. Winds, should not get a little bit of a tailwind. Let's see, 0.27. I forgot to initialize the IRSs. Alright, we have our departure put in. Let's go and get the winds requested over. Alright, we have our climb wind, cruise winds, and descent. Let's go and get the departure put in. So we are departing at the runway 22 right via the, which departure was it again? The Salo 1 Charlie departure, and insert that. Do the pre-flight, and let's go and get our performance calculated. So synchronized with load sheet and the weather. So we are now departing out of runway 22 right. Just gonna double check. A little bit of a while since I've flown out of Copenhagen. Alright, full length for this departure. No need to go shorten it down. Alright, so flaps 2 up 1. So flaps 2 slash UP 1.0. Flex temp 51. Alright, V1 158, rotate 163, 158. And 163. Gonna miss. And 163 for V2 as well. No takeoff shift, the engine out will be 1520 feet, so 1520. And 1520, 1520 for thrust reduction altitude. That was the departure. Put the checklist down because we're not gonna need that. Let's go and get our charts. Copenhagen cash drop. So let's see. We have the airport chart. And yes, to right is over there. Shortest taxi is to actually take Alpha 1 and then full length from there. So might as well just do the briefing right now. So looking for overhead panel, we are refueling and seatbelt signs are off. Please go back down. Thank you. Alright, so we are now refueling. We have 8.5 tons. We have a little bit to go. Gonna climb to initial altitude to flight level 350. We have no ATC online, therefore you can just set it to go straight up. And we are departing. We have winds from 210 at 5. So that's an altimeter is 1016. There's a constraints on both of my displays. Average is aligned in 1 minute or 3 minutes. The rest is good from here, and let's see. So briefing. We are standing up here at the parking stands. We have to push back the Mustang taxi down to the. We actually have to get that chart before I can continue on. Let's see, parking stands, U. Alright, we're up here at stand Delta 4. Gonna push back, most likely take Sierra down, join Bravo, taxi to via Bravo. Sorry, I mean taxi Bravo down to Zulu. Then most likely the Foxtrot, cross runway 1230, which is the hotspot. You have to watch Unicom from that frequency. Missed again. Continuing on from there, after you have crossed, actually we can take down Sierra Zulu, then taxi to Bravo, then Delta, or we could take down to Bravo, Echo 1, and then depart from there. Let's see what traffic allows us to do. Crossing runway, we'll do Unicom check if anyone not inbound. If not, just go straight over at the runway and then straight take off. We shouldn't have any approach inbound for that runway anyways. After takeoff, we are going to be climbing straight out to the Romeo Uniform Bravo Alpha Tango waypoint at heading 217. After that, take an immediate left-hand turn and then continue on. We are departing via the Salo position. We're going to fly out to the Charlie Hotel 820 and then continue down southeast and continue on our route from there. Minimum state altitude is going to be 1,700 feet for us. We'll be over ocean the whole way. In case anything happens, we can either turn around and come in, or we can divert to Malmö International Airport or land there. Or we can continue down to either Frankfurt or any other airport, which should be in the area a little bit further down south or in Poland. But we shouldn't have any problems. We have no reported problems in our maintenance charts as well, so shouldn't be any problem for us. And aircraft itself is looking great. We have our ILSs are now lining up, so let's get the APU started. APU start, we can get some temperature because temperature is 16 degrees Celsius, so it's probably a little bit cold for our passengers, and they are going to start boarding very shortly. Boarding has now been completed, so let's make sure we can get the aircraft ready for our pushback and startup. So, overhead panel, fuel pumps, all on. And we have to go and check the doors. So, can close the doors, close U, and we are on APU power, so we can disconnect ground power. GPU, toxic cones can be removed. Doors are closing themselves, put you to departure. Sorry about that. And let's get ourselves ready. So, squawk is selected to 2000, we are flying on Unicom, weather radar is off. And we are selected. I updated the weights because we have got a load sheet. And we are now getting ready for pushback. Alright, we have no traffic behind us. Something I have to double check on that sim. Primary. So, engine mode to ignition. Parking brake off. Beacon light on. Alright, starting number 1 and starting the clock. Alright, we have N2 rotation. Alright, 20%. And we have fuel. Number 1 is available. Let's get number 2 spooling up. Here are to start. We have an N2 rotation there. And 20% coming up. Right there. Parking brake set. We have fuel. All engines are now up and running, so engine mode to normal, flaps to position number 2, speed brakes, armed, auto brake, max is armed, flight control page check, and let's see, alright, pipe spin has been removed, so full left, full right, full up, full down, right left, full left and full right. Maybe not working. Alright, looks like there's something wrong with my rudder pedals. Just gonna make sure that they actually are working and go to straight rudder pedal, and they are working. See, artillery is working, so did it. Alright, so no slide to taxi, APU bleed off, APU off, seatbelt sign is on, parking brake can go to off, let's try to move. Alright, aircraft is actually moving. Alright, moving down, we are now moving along the runway. Runway. Moving along the stand, so let's get the charts. Alright, taxiing out to Bravo. We're just gonna go continue straight down on Bravo from here. I actually accidentally locked the rudder pedal, that explains that. Alright, here comes the pushback trucks, we're just gonna go straight. Just gonna have to increase our thrust a little bit, and let's see. Thrust back down to idle. Alright, continue straight on here. We are on Bravo. Alright, coming in on the runway. Just make sure everyone is seated for departure. So, strobe light on, landing light selected on, and transponder on. Copenhagen traffic, Viking 894, crossing runway 3012. copenhagen traffic. Alright, time for a speedy crossing.
Approaching 1, 2.
Alright, confirm. Alright, 23 knots reached. Alright, clear of runway. Lights off, we will keep the transponder running. Alright, so coming up, gonna take the first right I mean. Alright, let's get the weather radar up and running, because we have some thunder over there. Alright, coming on to the runway. Opening traffic, Viking 894 clear of runway 12, lining up runway 2 to right. So, lights all set for takeoff. Cabin is warm, flap set, speed brake is armed. We are 6 minutes since pushback. So we are good on that page.
Approaching 2, 2, right.
Alright, correct runway has been confirmed. Aircraft ready for takeoff. Altimeter 1016 set. There is no immediate rain in our area, so we can just continue straight out. So, just
on runway 2, 2,
50%.
right.
And stabilized, so chrono start. Flex thrust set. Alright, 8 knots. B1. Rotate. Right, past the rate of climb, gear up, nose to 15 degrees. .400 feet. And 1,000 feet.
SAS 22
And pilot on, thrust climb.
clear for pushback and engine startup.
Alright, nose light can come off, same for wing light. Actually there are some thunder cells around us, but we should go in clear. Coupling traffic, Viking 894 clear of runway 2 to right. Alright, flaps up, left can stay. Alright, chrono can turn off. 1 minute 30 on takeoff power, that is well within limits, and we are good. Alright, slats can come in as well. So, climb power has been selected, auto brakes are off.
SAS 2259 are cleared for requesting taxiing to runway 22 left.
Good right there, and shore light 21, low light 21. Alright, 2,400 feet. 500 feet. Alright. Maybe climb through some clouds, some storms, but should be fine otherwise than that. Right, coming in, so anti-ice on. Alright, 4,500 feet. Don't believe there's much more for me to say. So I'll just stop talking, enjoy the fight, and talk again descending into this. Crossing in on 11,000 feet, as the aircraft ready for land. So we are now descending to 11,000 feet, we are on an cruise speed of 250 knots. Descending to 4,000 feet and we are now inbound ILS runway 22. So we are coming along by the Bonek, Daros waypoints and then down to the Larnaca VOR. After that we are going to continue on. This is the X-ray arrival. Continuing out and then we're going to fly the outbound cover from there and then capture ILS and then fly straight in. So let's make sure we can get the aircraft ready for our interception. So we go to the navigation radio, ILS frequency 11030, correct, and course 220. Good. And we have the Larnaca VOR set on both sides. So let's activate the VOR. We have a little bit of a bearing where we're going. Alright, below 10,000 feet, so we can turn it off. Any lights on, seatbelt signs can come on. And we are going to use auto brake medium for this landing. One page. Going to use auto brake medium, flaps full. So we can might as well just arm that. And we will start with our flap program as we get closer. So I'm guessing we have about 40-ish nautical miles total to go until we are on the ground. And we are connected on VATSIM. There shouldn't be any ATC online, and there isn't. And there is relatively little traffic inbound for airport, which is great. We'll double check on how we are to descend. So we're now descending to 4,000 feet, which we have to be at the VOR. After that we will descend to 1,500 feet. Until we get the capture. After that we have to continue to a minimum of 210 feet, I believe it was. Yes, it is. And in case of go around, we will just do a straight climb after we are for 3 miles out, until we are 3 miles out of the Larnaca VOR. After that we will do an immediate left-hand turn out towards the sea. And if in case of missed approach, we will fly to the Bravo Oscar Sierra in the Sierra VOR waypoint and hold there, or we're just going to vector ourselves straight in for another attempt for landing. Alright, cabin is ready for arrival. And I believe you actually have to select set U, so we can take you back and reduce to QNH1011. And we are good on that pitch, reducing to 20 miles. Alright, we are starting to get the airport into view, which is great. We can also arm the landing systems on both sides. It's going red now. Flaps, sorry, speed brake to the lowest notch because we have to manage our speed a little bit. Correct. We are now 5 miles out of the airport. Alright, 6,000 feet, aircraft stable, landing lights are on, wing lights are not needed, not for now at least, seatbelt sign is on, cabin is ready, flaps are all up, squawk 2000, and everything else looking great. Unicom is selected and we are transmitting on Unicom. Alright, it's here online. Right, that's the final check. Now we are going to do the final ways into the ILS. Alright, taking manual control and I'm reducing the speed to 230 knots. So, laps 1, speed to 220 knots. And speed 210 knots since we are now actually closing in on the minimums. So, speed brakes are full, slats are out.
Altimeter setting.
Alright, all altimeter are selected to 1011.
Altimeter setting.
Yes, it is already been changed. So, speed brakes can come in. Alright, fuel range to 10 miles. Right, we are now starting our final turn inwards toward the airport. Alright, speed down to 200 knots. Larnaca traffic, Viking 894, about 10 miles out, runway 22. Alright, 8 miles out, approach mode can be armed. Local acceleration both captured, 8 miles out. Speed 180 knots, and flaps can be moved to position number 2. Alright, glide slope localizer has both been captured, flaps have been moved to position number 2, 7 miles out, gear down. Lights can all come to the on position. Final approach is now closing in 6 miles out. Speed 160 knots. Flaps 3. And below 100, closing on 170. Flaps full. Speed brakes armed. Flaps full. 5 miles out. Closing in. Alright, final speed 140 knots. Oh, sorry, 30. Yes, 140 plus 5. So 135 plus 5 technically, but. Alright. 1100 feet. Tap set, speed brake set, gear on, trigger in, auto brake medium is armed, lights are all settled on, seatbelt sign is on, cabin ready. We are go for landing, runway inside, airport in sight, below 1000 feet. Air control. Run traffic, Viking 894, short final, runway 22.
Approaching 2-2.
Alright, correct runway has been confirmed. Keep on center line. Feet.
Hundred above.
Roger that. And switching U.
Minimum.
Continue.
Flight slow.
Too low.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
40, 30, 20. Retard.
Alright, on the ground, reversers have been deployed. Nose wheel is on the ground. Alright, auto brake disarm. Reversers can be stowed, and let's see. So, flaps up, speed brake can come up. Landing system and flight directors can both be turned off. Landing lights have to stay on. APU master can come on. Alright, let's turn off the runway here and try to keep up the speed. Alright, starting up GSX. Let's try to reduce our speed, and let's see, Terminal 1. I believe we can take stand number 33. This is the correct one? Yes, it is. Alright, we take the Mesnias checks, and let's see, nose lights off, nose light taxi, and the rest can come to the ground configuration. APU start, you bleed on, do not stop. Right, flaps up, speed brake is up, engine mode normal, auto brake is arm, APU is starting up. Taxi light off, so don't blind the poor ground crew. Stand number 33. Coming up. Alright, 4 meters. A little bit too fast. Right, parking brake set, APU is running and confirmed, so engine number 1 and 2 off. APU is good, and we are now shutting down, so stop the clock, transponder to the off position, and good on that, and I forgot to turn off the weather radar, and that can come off, terrain radar can come off on your side. Alright, 3 hours and 49 minutes, it's a good time. Alright, we are now below 20, so beacon light off. The boarding we requested, and we are good on that page. So ground power connected, beacon light, everything else can stay, simple sign can come off. And other than that, I believe we are good. So I'm just gonna get in a flight plan for our next flight. Plan has now been received. Let's go and get it imported over. So we go back to the ASO page and get it requested over again. So AOC and the same as usual. Alright, so we are flying from Larnaca to Stockholm. Gonna fly as Viking 54 kilo, if I remember correctly. And I am correct. So 4 hours in the air. Let's go and get it into the flight plan. So request you over there. Meanwhile, you can have the load sheet on your page. Alright, gonna fly as Viking 54 kilo. Cost index will be, I'm guessing, 60 today. Yes, we are correct. Cruising flight level will be flight level 340, I believe. Yes, it is. 340, and we are going to have a temperature at cruise at negative, I believe it's going to be a couple of degrees Celsius, minus 48 degrees Celsius. Come on. I'm just going to request over the latest winds. Alright, go to the next page. I believe it is you. 7th of June, 16, yes it is. So 65.6, center of zero fuel weight, center of gravity 25.7. Takeoff fuel will be 16.6. And taxi fuel of 0.4. Route reserve 0.7. Alternate fuel of 2.5. Final fuel of 1.2. Headwind of 0 to 1. 1. Alright, we are fueling up. And good on that page. Let's go back to you. Alright, so flight plan. We are departing out of runway 22, same as was we landed on. So runway going to be 22 for takeoff. Using the Rudy 1 Delta. So you. No transition. We are of course in Europe. We don't use transitions. For now we have to get our departure charts. I'll remove you and the ILSs as well. Let's see. Departing out of a runway. Let's see. According to this we are going to depart. Let's see. We're going to depart out as soon as we get to the Lima Kilo 601 waypoint. We're going to do an immediate left-hand turn out to the Bolsis waypoint and continue on the cover and then Ruder. Continue up north towards Sweden. Minimum is going to be 2,100 feet or minimum safe altitude, and we are over 4,000 feet since we are departing a little bit out. And for the ground, we are currently at the terminal. We're going to do a straight pushback onto Whiskey. Oh, actually, yeah, yes, Whiskey, I believe it is. Take Whiskey onto the Charlie away for Charlie, taxi all the way up to Alpha, holding for Alpha, lining up at that takeoff. No hotspots, traffic is low, no EKCH online for now. It should be good on that page. For our takeoff calculations, which we have to do now, wrong page. We are departing runways dry. We are going to be using the full length since we are heavy aircraft. So 150, 157, 158. So 150, 157, 158. Flaps 2 up 1.3, 2/UP 1.3. Yes, and flex temp of 46 degrees Celsius. Total altitude is going to be 1,510 feet, which is correct. Don't have to change anything there. For our initial climb, we're going to climb straight up to flight level 340. No EKCH online, so we just go up. Don't need to worry about hitting anything. We are now on ground power, and we will get the APU running shortly. And we are good on that page. Yes. So APU master on, APU start, and APU bleed on. Alright, QNH is set, we are good. Auto brake, it has to be armed later. We are squawk 2000 and squawk is off. Flaps up, good. Alright, everything else can stay as is. So I just have to wait until we are fully boarded. Boarding is now completed. Let's get going so we can get going to Stockholm. So we are now going to have to remove our trucks. So we are now APU power and U. We will be facing east. GPU trucks and cones can both be removed, and we are good on that page. So big light select on, rest is great. So U, parking brakes off. Alright, number 1. And of course, engine to ignition flash start. Alright, we have N2. %, and we have fuel.
Larnaca traffic, Ocean 5 Quebec, taxiing to the point.
Number 1 is available. Number 2, spooling up. We have N2 rotation. Parking brake set. %, and there goes the fuel. Both engines are now up and running. So flaps 2, transponder stay off for now. Flight control, so full left, full right, full up, full down, rudder left, and rudder right. So engine mode to normal, speed brakes to arm, auto brake can go to the full max position. Terrain radar on the first officer side. We will get the weather radar on my side. No slide to taxi, APU master off, APU bleed off, seatbelt sign can go on. Route ground equipment has been removed. No slide to taxi, parking brake off, thrust slight increase. Alright, we are now moving. Not that high. Let's quickly get the airport chart. Alright, we are going to taxi onto the whiskey onto the Zulu. cabin crew can be warned. And of course, take the configuration test can be done. Alright, cabin is ready. So flaps is selected to position number 2, speed brakes are arm, cabin is ready. Speeds are good. Thrust can go back down to idle. So, plan is as soon as we get to the end of the runway, we have to wait until he has departed. After that, we can continue with our flight.
Traffic. Larnaca traffic, Ocean 5 Quebec, landing up taking off runway 22.
Alright, after that, we are just going to be holding behind you. I'm not transmitting that, but don't need to. Going to be lining up behind you. Alright, transponder can come on. Larnaca traffic, Viking 54 kilo, landing up runway 22. Alright, using the absolute full length we can.
On runway 22.
Alright, it's a little bit too sharp to be precise with that turn. So, we are here, hold, park brake set, and we just have to wait until he is at least 3 nautical miles out, I believe the rule is.
Larnaca traffic, Ocean 5 Quebec, airborne passing 1,900 feet, path of 1 Whiskey departure.
Larnaca traffic is cleared 744 heavy taxiing to runway 22 via Charlie Alpha, Larnaca traffic.
Alright, 3000 feet he has reached, so Larnaca traffic, Viking 54 kilo taking off runway 22. So parking brake off, thrust to 50%. Lights all on. And the rest is great. The transponder is on. Chrono 1 and 2 can be started. Take off thrust set. Alright, flex temperature has been set and we are airspeed alive. 80 knots. V1. Rotate. Faster rate of climb. Gear up. .500 feet, 600 feet. 1,000 feet. Alright, autopilot 1 on. Thrust to climb. Flaps to 1. And let's see, nose lights. We can turn you off. Strobe logo and wing light can come to the auto off and 1 position, 2000 feet. We should now do a left-hand turn. Right corner can be stopped for 1 minute 30 second on takeoff power. That is good enough. .300 feet has been reached. Flaps up. Alright, slats and flaps are all in. Lights are selected, simple sign is on, spring brakes are disarmed, engine mode is normal. Larnaca traffic, Viking 54 kilo, clear off runway 22. So 2,500 feet. Can get the weather radar on my side. Shouldn't be any weather there, we shouldn't be able to see anything. Alright, 3,000 feet. Don't believe this special for me to say. Enjoy the flight. I will talk to you next time we're sailing in Stockholm. 10,000 feet and clear and ready for our landing in Stockholm. So we are now going directly to the Tango Echo Bravo. 11,000 feet. Let's get the aircraft ready for our landing. So we're now crossing 10,000 feet, so seatbelt and landing lights can come on. We are now inbound ILS runway 19 left. And we are going to be landing with flaps full, auto brake to medium, same as we did when we were landing into Larnaca. So auto brake medium selected, we will use flaps full, but we are a little bit too far out to start with that. We already configured our approach, so we are going to be landing, minimum is going to be 318 feet. For now we have to do the ILS frequency check. So we are flying in 110.7 and that is not correct. So we are NSA /110.70. That was wrong. 110.70. And course 1, I think that explains that. We have the wrong chart. Approach 19 left, not you. So 111.35. Course 184. Right, so 184 is you. Yes. Alright, below 10,000 feet. Ascending to 2,500 feet. /184. Okay. Doesn't work, then I just ignored it. There's probably a way to do this, but I am not smart enough to do that, so I'm just going to ignore that. Alright, so we are with Arlanda Tower on 118505. So the set down there, but the confirm that is correct. I'm just going to quickly get the altimeter settings. Right, 8,000 feet. So, altimeter is going to be 1015. Has been set on all three sides. Take you down to the off position. Range down to 20 miles. And landing system can also be activated. Speed restriction we have to follow. 2,500 feet. Doesn't look like it. We are good. Alright, let's switch over to Stockholm ground, sorry, tower. emergency briefing before I forget to do that. So, we're now inbound runway 19 left. Minimum is going to be 318. I set 299 as the correct one. I'll just use the previous one. In case anything happens, we will do a go around. That will be an immediate until we hit. So we're going to come straight to hit 1.5 DME. After that, we're going to take an immediate turn to the left, heading 148. And then we're going to vector ourselves in for a second attempt, or we are going to follow the misapproach procedure and do a holding point, then vector ourselves in, or if you have to divert, we divert to the alternate, which is going to be, if I remember correctly, is going to be Copenhagen. I believe we are going to use either Copenhagen or Göteborg. Göteborg is closer, and it is I'm a little bit more familiar there, so we might just divert there instead. But so 5,000 feet. We're now doing our final turn. Differential, alright. Not descending that fast. Alright, that was a problem I've not seen before, but now at least the cabin is descending along with the aircraft itself.
Copenhagen 15 low 583 frequency change approved.
Here comes the number 150.
Alright, approach mode is now armed, localizer glide slot armed. Alright, I will take over speed manual control from here and reduce our speed to 200 knots. Alright, flaps 1. Alright, cabin pressure has equalized itself, which is good. Localizer captured. And glide slope captured. 9 miles out, speed to 180 knots. Alright, runway in sight, 8 miles out.
$2,500.
Alright, flaps 2, gear down. Speed brake armed. Stockholm Tower, Viking 54 kilo, 7 miles out, runway 19 left.
Hello, Viking 54 kilo, Arlanda Tower, wind 200 degrees, 1 knots, only 19 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 19 left, Viking 54 kilo. Alright, clear to land, speed 160 knots. Flaps 3, and flaps full. Lights, all select on for landing, seatbelt sign is already on cabin. Board for landing, and we are good. See to follow, 1000 feet, disconnect autopilot and land manually from there. Alright, runway inside the airport, inside runway looks clear. Landing clearance has been received. Alright, 4 miles out, speed to 141 for landing, flaps full, speed brake set, gear on 3 green, aircraft ready for landing. We are good. Right, 1000 feet, I have control.
Approaching 19 left.
Correct runway has been confirmed.
664, stand Kilo 3 Alpha with information Bravo. Request clearance Uppsala.
Hello, 64664 on Larnaca Tower 22 Uppsala med 18 6 departure 5000 feet. Expect radar vectoring squad 1000.
Switching view.
Clear Uppsala auto 6 departure expecting radar vector scope 1000 and plan 500 for 664.
Check 4664 with correct.
Minimum.
Continue.
Transit for 664 request Stockholm.
Check 4664 start for road EKCH-1015.
Stockholm route 1015 split for 664.
50. 40. 5.
Zero wings 163 Papa Stockholm Tower.
Your wings 163.
Right, on the runway rush deployed, speed going down 8 knots, so turn off right here. Right, auto brakes off, reversers is stowed, flaps up, speed brake down.
Go ahead.
Nose slide to taxi, turn off flight not needed, landing lights can come off, strobe light
Do I
automatic, and we are
want to do
good.
here for approach? Over.
Say again.
Do you want me to use this frequency on approach you?
Negative. You can monitor advisory 122.18.
Right, put you to the airport.
122, that's right. 163 Papa.
Flagging 54 kilo, taxi stand Foxtrot 33.
Taxi stand Foxtrot 33, Viking 54 kilo.
And all stations towers closing monitor advisory 122.18.
Alright, we are now going to go back to Unicom. Alright, Foxtrot 33 then.
Armada traffic, split 4664, taxing on following to runway 19 right. 5, stand at approach runway 19 left.
Transponder can actually come off since we are on the ground in Europe. Forgot that. Alright, we're just going to continue taxiing straight on Whiskey, then take a left onto Zulu. Then continue on to the Foxtrot stance from there.
Beeper 225, establish other ice, approach runway 19 left. Traffic check, we'll fix the reset taxi and we'll go on the right on traffic.
Alright, coming up onto Zulu. Let's start APU. Knots. Alright, there we have the Foxtrot gates. We're gonna go on the other side of the gates. Here we have the Scandinavian Airlines hangars. Then it's the 13 bounds looking for maintenance, it looks like. So that's around 84 and 8050. Right, APU is available and we are getting bleed there from that as well. Right, speed down to 15 knots.
All on the traffic, split 4664 departing runway 19 right, all on 6 go departure.
Alright, tower just came online, but we can just ignore that for now. Alright, Foxtrot 39, it's going to be Foxtrot 37, 35, 33 then. Yes. Alright, here's our gate. So let's do a tiny little overshoot. Alright, parking brake set, engine 1 and 2 off. Alright, we are now on APU power, so waiting for engines to spool down. Hold your weight, seatbelt sign can come off, nose light can come off. Fuel pumps can all come off. Evacuation to the captain and purser. Oxygen to crew can come off. ADIRS can stay as is for now. Emergency light selected to the arm position, not on. And without 20%. Beacon lights can come off. Boarding has been requested. Transponder is off. Weather radar is now off. And we are now on APU power and everything else looking great. Welcome to Stockholm, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 flights, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my channel page for more awesome videos, or if you want to binge more from video, you can check the playlist link in the description or on the screen right now. Other than that, have a lovely summer, see you next video, fly out, that was me, and goodbye.